Well, hi folks, it's about the 7th of May now, so I'll just give you a little tour again of what's going on in the garden, what's growing and what isn't growing, because if you look up there, there's a bit of weather coming in, so I'll try and do it. The sun's actually out, but that's the south, and the weather's really coming in because it's supposed to be stormy tomorrow, so we'll just give you a quick tour of what's going on. Not much because it's been that cold, but anyway, we'll start again at the start of it. I've got my peas, which I'm really surprised germinated because I planted them when it was really cold, but they've all come up really well now. So I've stuck the old pea frame up, which I make out of chicken wire. It seems to be a lot sturdier than the old plastic rubbish you can buy. I've got a bit of kale planted out, and I've got some under the sort of windbreak just for now because it has been windy, so that's just to stop it rocking. And that's the old shallots from seed I planted out, the banana shallots. Finally got a few lettuces coming through. They were a bit patchy because the slugs got to them in this first bit, but there's a few more, and I've actually just pulled a few out and transplanted some there. Same again there, another row of lettuce and beetroot and spring onions and carrots under there. This other windbreak, just to keep the wind off really, stop everything blowing away. That's the garlic I planted in about the end of March. That's coming along now. It was really slow to start popping through, but at least it's through now. Planted out my broccoli again that I grew. I've got it under this sort of anti-butterfly net thing that I made, so that's about that outside. We'll just have a quick nip into Polytunnel. So I've got a few bits and pieces. Some of the tender stuff's coming through now. I've got some courgettes, a few cucumbers, and what else have we got? A few of the climbing French beans have just popped up today, so a few spring onions in pots that I'll just try and just to get some a bit early in the outside. My leeks, a bit of parsley, a few Brussels sprouts, and then the old onions again, the big show onions, which I can't believe it this year, they're absolutely flying along. Even with the horrible weather we've had, but in here, you know, you get like a microclimate. I'll just get my hand in and try and show you how big they are. They're absolutely huge. They've got about 10 leaves on now, so I'm really chuffed with those. And these are the other little onions that I got, these other little kelses for a different class, which look pretty pitiful in comparison, but who knows, they might get to about £3. And then, you remember I did that video planting the bare root strawberries, I think that was only a week ago. They look like weedy little specimens, and in this case of about a week, in about a week they've just absolutely flown on. They've got loads of leaves on now. They look really strong, healthy little plants. So, and then these are the early spuds I planted in the pots. I've got Swift, which is supposed to be really swift as the name suggests, and I've got some Nicola. I've been happy to fleece these up every night for the last sort of week because we've had frosts all the time, so it's been a bit of a pain fleecing up all the time, but there you go. And this is that giant onion that I put to seed. Starting to get some heads on now, and they just grow and grow, and it's just split into a big massive leaves and sent all these big flower spikes up. And this is a few of my show carrots that I'm growing inside. They're way ahead of outdoors. Same again, just with the heat, keeps the wind off, keeps the temperature up a few degrees, and it just makes all the difference. So that's just a quick look in the old Polytunnel. Get outside. Yeah, if you look at some of the strawberries I've got outside, you know, they've just not moved at all. So that's the difference. Just a bit of extra heat. Like I say, everything's way behind last year. You know, my flowers, my garden, I've got loads of poppies and stuff like that, and they're usually in flower by this time of year. But they've, you know, they're barely growing, so all this is full of stuff usually, flowers and poppies and big daisies and all sorts of stuff. And in my little pond I've got, these are the irises, they're usually in flower this time of year, big yellow iris. But like I said, they're a good 2 or 3 weeks behind normal. So at least the old little fish have survived. I've got a few little goldfish in there, so anyway. This is where I've been planting my show potatoes in the bags, just in the poly pots. I did a video of that as well. That's the way that everyone seems to do it these days. A few of my shallots, they've all been battered with the wind, but they'll recover. And this is where I'm growing all my long roots, my carrots and parsnips and things like that. But as you can see, there's a few there, but a few, like that one, just got blown away, snapped off in the wind. So I've been having to put all sorts of blooming protective things on to keep the wind off, and I've got this big net here that I can lift up and down right to the top. I can lift it right to the top so it's 6 foot high. But if you look at my carrots outside compared to the ones inside, they've still only just got 2 leaves on. So anyway, going to the next bit. I'll show you. Yeah, that's my weeping willow tree. I mean, that's only just coming into leaf now. I mean, it's approaching the middle of May and it's just so far behind. But there you go. Anyway, this is into my next bit. Remember, I planted loads of potatoes in pots. They've all come through now, but because of the frost I've been having to just cover them every night with more compost. So basically, because it's a frost forecast tonight, I'll do exactly the same again. I'll just chuck some compost over the leaves, which will protect them from the frost. It's a pain, but it's got to be done, otherwise they'll just get burnt off in the frost. And then this is my onion bed sort of thing, my normal eating onions from sets. And as you can see, they're just tiny. They're just not moving at all because it's been so cold again. Whereas the shallots, they don't seem to mind a bit of cold, they're flying along. So, and then garlic, it's looking a bit sad for itself actually with the wind. It's been battered as well with the big leaves on it. So, but it is big for this time of year for me. And then finally I'm growing some crazy pumpkins this year. I've got some from like £1,500 pumpkins, so I've built these big sort of protective cloches. I'm trying to warm the soil up and I'll grow them under there. I've dug some big pits out and filled them full of compost and manure and all sorts. I've got one there and one at the top end, so that's this year's daft veg thing. I've just sown the seed and they've just come through, so I'll be hopefully planting them out in about a week's time, and hopefully, I don't know, because they come from £1,500 pumpkins, who knows what we'll get. £100 will do me. And I've also made this other bit of garden this year, my pumpkin patch. It's all new, so I haven't actually killed the grass or anything. I've just covered it with this black weed membrane stuff and just dug some giant pits out. They're about 3 feet wide and 2 feet deep, and just filled them full of compost, manure and fertiliser, and I'll just grow 3 giant pumpkins in there and let them trail along, and hopefully they don't get blown away in the wind. But you never know with this wind, with this weather this year. So anyway, that's about it. I think it's about to rain. I'll just give you a quick look at the weather coming in. It's not looking very promising, but anyway, there you go. That's about it for this time of year. That's it.